I've been wanting to do this video over a week ago, actually, before I got sick. I got the flu in Park City, Sundance, and I'm finally recovering. So the reason why I wanted to make this video is because people are asking me, like, how does Bitcoin get its value? Bitcoin doesn't have any real intrinsic value, and the value that it comes, the value that it has is basically a perceived value that people give it. And it's a little different than currencies that have intrinsic value, like gold or silver, or in the past, beans, anything that people used as a means of currency to trade. But in the past, most usually had some sort of intrinsic value. But currencies today don't really have any intrinsic value. Our fiat currency, the US dollar, is just a piece of paper. And that paper is just backed up by another piece of paper. It doesn't really have any value other than the value that we assign it as a society. And that's how it, its perceived value, it's its value. So a lot of things have that perceived value as its value, even artworks that way. There's no real defining value for a piece of artwork, is what people are willing to pay for it. And same with Bitcoin, it's what people are willing to pay for it. Originally, fiat currency, which is our dollar system, used to have value based on a trade-in value. So the history of fiat currency was actually, there were gold receipts. When people used to have gold, they didn't want to carry the gold around, so what they used to do is take the gold and deposit it in banks. And instead of trading gold around, people were trading the actual receipts of the gold that was deposited in the banks. So you know that if you had a certificate of gold, let's say worth 10 ounces, you know you can go to the bank and you can take 10 ounces of gold. And that's how paper money started. And of course, people thought it was a little nuts having paper money, but once they understood the concept that it was backed by gold in the bank, then they were fine trading it. Later on, of course, the banks started deceiving its customers, and they were printing receipts without actually having any real gold in the bank. And so that's what fractional reserve banking is essentially based on, is having these receipts, excess amount of receipts, then more money than exists in the bank. And then that allows for an expanding economy. Bitcoin doesn't work that way. It's a totally different system. The way it handles an expanding economy is every 10 minutes a block of Bitcoin is generated on the Bitcoin blockchain, and every 4 years this is halved. And the block of it works through cryptographic puzzles, and that's how the more Bitcoins generated to a maximum of 21 million Bitcoins in over 140 years. Real complex mathematical programming that they created there. It's pretty genius. And the value comes in with Bitcoin is the scarcity and the belief that people will mass adopt Bitcoin. People will start to use Bitcoin, and because the more people that start to use Bitcoin, and there's a finite amount of Bitcoin, that's what will theoretically drive up the price of Bitcoin. So the more people that use something, and you have a limited supply of something, that in the end drives up the price of something. So if you believe Bitcoin will be used by the masses globally, then by definition, you should also believe that the price of Bitcoin will continue to climb. And essentially that's how it gets its value. When it comes to fiat currency, and you will see this in like really poor third world countries that use their printing mechanism excessively, like Zimbabwe or Venezuela, where they continue to print and print and print and print, and that essentially debases the currency, devalues the currency, because it has no value. If you can print as much as you want of it, how valuable can something be? So it's, you know, you have fiat currencies are inherently inflationary because the central banking system of the territory is able to print as much as it wants from it, wants of it, where Bitcoin and a lot of cryptocurrencies, everything is programmatically executed. So they come into existence and they cannot just be created out of thin air like fiat currency can. So Bitcoin, the value of Bitcoin and integrity of Bitcoin is maintained because no one can create more of it just because they want to. And this is one of the key reasons why people that believe in Bitcoin believe that it can explode in value because of the inability of creating more of it at will. Thank you.